Hi, my name is Rev.Nana Yaa Prempeh. Just a little over a week ago, my nephew, Nana Yaa Prempeh, 27 years old, he fell in the bathroom, and his father, Pastor Chris, called the ambulance service 112. Okay, so the gentleman asked him, okay, which region are you calling from, which area, and so many questions. I thought this ambulance service have a GPRS that's supposed to know where exactly you're calling from. But that's not the case. So many questions. 6 minutes later, the boy is still on the ground. So he calls me. He's like, sis, we have an emergency. Can you help? Okay, so I called the ambulance service 112. They started asking me questions. I said, please, if you can, take this number. Call my brother, pick up his son. He's lifeless, lying down there. Please, it's an emergency. So, long story short, 30 minutes later, the boy is still lying down on the floor in the bathroom. So, my brother gets neighbors, they pick up the son, he drives him lying on his mother's lap in the back of the car. They drive him to Kolebu Teaching Hospital. I get there myself, and first thing, I want sanitizers to wash my hands. They have no sanitizer at the emergency room at Kolebu Teaching Hospital. No sanitizers. Fine. The doctor comes out, says that my nephew is there, we should take him to the mortuary, just like that. I said, no way, no way. Don't you have to check his vital signs? Don't you need some parameters? Don't you need to give him some kind of a shock to try and resuscitate him? I mean, would you be able to just look at the boy there and just say, take him to the mortuary? No. I said, please, can you bring him inside and check on him? Oh, we have no beds. So you have no beds. That's why you're telling me to take my nephew to the mortuary, because you have no bed. So I said, please, put him on a stretcher. They put him on a stretcher. We take him to the back. And I said, can you please check his oxygen level? They checked his oxygen level on his finger. I saw some activity there. I said, no, my nephew is not dead. Please, give him some oxygen. So then they call another doctor. She said, oh, your nephew is dead. I said, my nephew is not dead. Please, try and give him some oxygen. Oh, you're asking for too much. Why didn't you just ask for a shock on his chest rather than an oxygen? I said, please, my nephew is not dead. Can you give him some oxygen? Oh, it's very expensive. We don't have enough. We are waiting for an emergency. You're waiting for an emergency? What is it that I have in front of you now? Isn't that enough emergency that you can try and resuscitate this young man? So they're like bringing other doctors to come and convince me that my nephew is dead. I have no problem accepting the death of a family member, but you have to do the right thing. You need to check his vital signs. I made them to check his sugar. It was 9.4. I said, you didn't even check his pressure. You didn't check anything. You just opened his eyes, looked in the eyeball. You said his eyes have dilated. That's enough for you to pronounce someone dead? Come on, guys. Listen, I am the one who is going around and preaching the diaspora platform. Come back to Africa. Come back to Ghana. Come and stay in Africa. People don't want to come because they know that the least thing, they're going to lose their lives. Ambulance never shows up. Doctor comes and looks at the eye and says the man is dead. Please. We know people who go into coma, they come back. We know people who are forced into morgues, who are not dead. You don't have to just sit down and accept these. Please, when you go to the doctor's office, when you go to the hospitals, you must demand for what is rightfully yours. I expect them to do more than just looking at the dilated eyes to tell me my nephew is dead. That's not enough grounds. There must be more parameters that you have to check for, which either gives you a more conviction that the person is dead, or you have enough grounds to put oxygen on him or to do something better. But please, I thought that emergency rooms are for emergencies. But you're telling me that because you see so many dead people, anyone who comes there with weakness or with no life there is dead. You can bring the life back if you take time to study the body, the person. You can bring life back. I'm begging you. Frontliners, we love you. You know how much we appreciate you. But you have to do what you need to do. You don't have to wait for someone to beg you before you do what you have to do. I just lost my nephew of 27 years. Pastor Chris and your wife Doris, may God strengthen you. I know that Christians, we believe that for me to live is Christ, to die is gain. We have hope that we will see him again. I don't want this to happen to anybody, where you take your child and they don't even want to check anything. They just pronounce him dead, take him to the morgue. You have to do what you have to do as a doctor, as a nurse. You have to do what you have to do, so that at least the family members will feel like you did your best and we still lost them. You don't just go and say, take him to the morgue. Well, I beg you. I beg your pardon. You should try and do something at least to let us feel like you did your best. You tried to resuscitate him and it was gone. It was too late. Hey, I beg you. I beg you. Even the sanitizers that they don't have in the emergency room, that is why people don't want to come and live in Africa, because they know that when they come, some of these vital things are missing. Let's change our attitude and get people to come and be confident that when they come, they are taken care of. In cases of emergency, they know that somebody cares about them. Now my nephew is gone. Oh, God have mercy.